صبيح تسر أسارير وجه صبيح سبيل الدموع.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. Do you understand that? Turn the friggin' frogs gay. Serious crap. Gay. Frogs friggin' frogs. It's not funny. I'm gonna say it real slow for you. Gay. Frogs.
These roads of flames are catching a fire. Showed you I loved you, you called me a liar. Oh no, 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 no.
Crusaders, we spend an awful lot of time fussing and fretting trying to discover our true talent, but when we take a little time off, we end up helping other ponies figure out their true talent.
Yeah, and I think that's way more important than worrying about our cutie marks. Don't you? Absolutely. I don't care if I ever get my cutie mark, as long as I get to hang out with my best friends.
If you're done with your ex, move on to the next. If you're done with your ex,
Take it to the max. And if you hear me sound like go on the back, go on with your knees, baby, shake it to the max. Will the DJ please?
Gonna party like it's 1949. We're in a Chevrolet.
Actual goals, AF. Literally, my life is beaches every single night, messy buns and Christmas lights. Literally, my life is 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me hear scream if you want some more. Like push it, watch me work it. I'm perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me hear scream if you want some more. Like push it. I'm perfect.
Let's make a scrap yarn top. That was dumb. I have to roll everything back up. Chain, 35, or however long you would want the top to be. 35 worked for me. I'm going to do 20 single crochets, and then 15, math, are going to be half double crochets, so a little bit larger. I'm going to do a different color for every row and put the half double crochets on top of the half double crochets and the single crochets on top of the single. This is me miscounting something, as per usual, and realizing it's messed up. This is me starting to question what I was doing. And this is me giving up. Don't make this project.
The day that I met you, I started dreaming.
Cute things to crochet in less than an hour.
I just wanted to show my crochet friends that you can be doing amigurumi for 10 years and be doing it wrong. So I finally cracked the amigurumi stitch. So this was my amigurumi before, which is half of the amigurumi stitch in a normal crochet stitch. I was not doing it correctly at all. But this, that's the amigurumi stitch that looks like tiny little cross stitches. I've cracked it. And it took me 10 years of doing amigurumi to crack that. And I can show you if you want me to show you this way, overhead. But I just wanted to say you could be doing it 10 years.
Let's turn some of my giant bag of scraps into brand new yarn. Now, when it comes to longer yarn scraps, I have a totally separate box for these, but with all of those shorter scraps that you just don't really know what you're going to do with, this is something you can do with them. You can make new yarn. As you can see, I have my hand carders to help me do this. So I have wool scraps, a little bit of wool mixed in. I did cut up some of these wool scraps kind of off screen before we started, but some of them are still in longer pieces because we are going to use this to make sort of a funky chunky art yarn. If you're a beginner and you're wary to make an investment in equipment though, you can always use some very large dog brushes as a way to start. This is a great, inexpensive way to practice spinning highly textured bats as well. I'm really pleased with the way that this art yarn came out. I like that there's more of a rainbow of colors than the last scrap yarn I made. And I did ply it with 2 plies of this pigeon blue cotton that I got from the thrift craft store. This yarn, as well as many others that I spun this month, are already available on my shop. My shop drop is live, so if you're interested, go check those out. If you spun a yarn from all of your scraps right now, would the yarn all be one color? Be honest with me.
I spent the last year collecting yarn scraps, brushing it out with wool carders, and spinning it on a drop spindle to create brand new yarn. Mind you, this is like such a slow, tedious process, so it's not for everybody, but I really care about sustainability, especially with fiber arts, so this was something that I had to try. This is my spindle after about a year of working on it, not consistently, but you know, a couple sessions here and there. I caked it up and I could have double plied it, but I decided to keep yardage and keep it single ply. So this is what it looks like on the cake. It's very slubby, very interesting. And this is it crocheted into a moss stitch square. I'm making a blanket out of a lot of my scraps too, so this is gonna go in with that. I think it turned out really cool. Let me know what you think.
make a scrap yarn top. That was dumb. I have to roll everything back up. Chain, 35, or however long you would want the top to be. 35 worked for me. I'm going to do 20 single crochets, and then 15, math, are going to be half double crochets, so a little bit larger. I'm going to do a different color for every row and put the half double crochets on top of the half double crochets and the single crochets on top of the single. This is me miscounting something, as per usual, and realizing it's messed up. This is me starting to question what I was doing. And this is me giving up. Don't make this project.
You're a teacher and you crochet. Use your scrap yarn and make an eraser. Okay, it works really well, okay? And then this one, I made like a little pocket for my fingers, and it just is easier to hold. And then I just kind of like stick it on that hook so it hangs.
2 plastic Easter eggs filled with mung beans. 2 Christmas tree ornaments filled with jingle bells. 2 wads of masking tape tied together with a pink ribbon.
It's now been just over 2 weeks since I started knitting my scrap yarn blanket, and it is getting pretty massive, guys. The diagonal that I'm knitting on is now way longer than my 100cm needles. I did get a few concerned comments about weaving in the ends in my last update, but the beauty of the excavation blanket pattern means that there's absolutely no weaving in ends and just a lot of tassel making. So I'm going to trim all these to be the same length as soon as the blanket's done. I've used up 4 more balls of yarn since my last update, taking my total yarn stash from 40 balls of yarn down to 34. So my newly finished yarns are this beige that's almost hidden by that other ball of beige, this yellow alpaca silk along with this orange alpaca silk, and this pink Surrey alpaca that I do have a second bowl of. Although I haven't finished up that many balls of yarn, I am nearing the end of so many of them, so hopefully by my next update, my yarn ball stash total will be at under 30.
Are you team yarn over or yarn under for amigurumi? By changing the way you grab the yarn with your hook, you can create a slightly different stitch, which will result in a slightly different crocheted toy. Yarn over is the traditional way you make a single crochet, and it creates a V-shaped stitch. You make the stitch by placing your yarn under both loops of the stitch from the previous round. Then the yarn goes over your hook as you pull it through the stitch. You'll then have 2 loops on your hook. You then bring the yarn over the hook and then pull through both loops. Yarn under is a single crochet stitch that many amigurumi makers prefer. It creates a stitch that's shaped more like an X, and it's a slightly smaller stitch because you use less yarn. Take your crochet hook under both loops of the stitch from the previous round. This time you're going to bring the yarn under the hook and pull through. You'll have 2 loops on your hook. Now you'll yarn over and pull through both loops. Which one do you use most often, yarn over or yarn under?
Gives the most beautiful effect, but it's like crocheting on hard mode. These steps made it work for me. The beginning is the hardest part. A magic ring didn't work, so I made a slip knot, chain 2, and then worked my stitches into the second stitch from the hook. Seeing your stitches can be impossible. I like to use a blunt needle to find and count my stitches, but you can also use your fingers or nails. Use a stitch marker and count your stitches after each round. If your stitch count is off by 1, just do a decrease or increase. Fluffy yarn is very forgiving. Counting rows can get hard, so I recommend to note down the rows you've done. After finishing, brush your plushie to reach maximum fluffiness. Here you can see the difference side by side. There are some bonus tips in the description, but the most important thing is to trust yourself. You got this, I promise.
This yarn has to be the weirdest yarn that I've ever used. It has 4 different textures in it. It has a sort of chunky acrylic, it has a blanket yarn, it has a fuzzy yarn, and it has this kind of like lion brand homespun type of yarn. I don't know what this is supposed to be for. When I first saw this, I thought maybe it was Bernat Casa, but I looked it up and Bernat Casa is different. It has a blanket yarn, it has this homespun yarn, and then it has like Bernat velvet and a faux fur yarn, so it's like half the same basically as this. My friend got this secondhand with a bunch of other different yarn that she got for a really low price, and she gave this to me because she didn't know what to do with it, and she challenged me to figure out something to make with it. So I'm gonna make a creature with it, and I have kind of started. I'm gonna go kind of like monstery sort of thing. I think I'm gonna do something like a cat. I'm kind of thinking kind of like that. Have you ever seen any yarn like this? And if you've gotten it, what have you made with it?
Welcome to a new series of using all my scrap yarn until it can fit inside this basket. There are only 2 rules, and that's whatever I use I must already own, and that the series doesn't end until all of this fits neatly into this. I'm feeling inspired by these 3 colors today, plus there's like a decent amount of yarn, so I think I should be able to make something cool. I started spiraling it without a very specific idea what I'm gonna do. I was thinking originally maybe coasters or a pot holder, but it's acrylic yarn and that's not really the best material for that. I had to go to work, so the lighting's worse and I look tired, but look what I made! A cute little pouch. The bottom has this little spiral thing going on, and then it works all the way up to the top. Here's what it looks like all around. Little ties in front. You can fit all sorts of things in here. Some gum, lipstick, more scrap yarn, the suspicious wad of ones you get from the serving industry. Look at that. Tie a little bow, stick a carabiner on it. I'm not sure you've got a good look, but you've got a specific look, and that's what the summer is all about. I have a very tiny bit of the like green yarn left. I'll hang on to that for another project. An even tinier bit of this dark green, but maybe it'll be useful, so I'll stick it back in. Not enough of the pink to do anything with, so I'll stick it in this little jar and it'll become stuffing for another project. And here's where we are in the scrap basket. Doesn't particularly look like I made a dent, but emotionally it feels like we did. So I'll see you back again for another video while we take this down to... Oops, and I forgot to take the demonstration yarn out of the pouch, so...
Day 8 of designing a pattern for Queso's cat, Kitty. If you didn't see yesterday's update, you kind of missed a lot. I completely redesigned the head and asked which version you guys preferred, and to my surprise, it was pretty split down the middle. So I put a poll up on my Instagram post, and according to the poll, okay, you guys preferred the new one, so that's what I went with. I also preferred the new one too, so W poll. Those who were on board with the newer version also gave me feedback, and the overall conclusion was to make the head bigger and change up the snout. And because these adjustments are so simple, I'll be making this one look like Kitty. And for those curious, I'm using Sweet Snuggles light yarn and 30mm safety eyes. Considering I wanted the head to be bigger than the previous iteration, I will be using a 5.5mm hook this time around. I started by making the ears, which work up incredibly fast because there are only 4 rounds before joining them together to start working on the head. And even though I sized up my hook to make the head bigger, I also decided to slightly increase the stitch count by 2 and also make another round of single crochet so that the plushie actually has a forehead this time. As I was crocheting, I realized that that the new piece was working up much bigger than the last design, so I decided to make the finished plushie wear the new plushie, and tell me why it low-key looks like Batman. Or Batcat, I guess. Anyway, I continued working up the head until it was time to figure out the placement of the eyes, and I'm gonna be honest, I feel like the eyes were too small for the new head, but I didn't want to order more eyes, so I decided to keep on going. I crocheted until I made the snout, and then I took a look at it, and like usual, I was on the fence. But I also figured it would make the final product easier to visualize if I just secured the eyes and stuff it just a bit, and I was right. It helped tremendously. I was super happy with it, so I finished it up, moved on to the legs, and once I got those done, I started working on the body. The body worked up super quick because the only thing I changed was the height. Some of you were saying to make the body a bit taller to match my sketch better, and I totally agreed, so I added 2 more rows, and I'm very happy with it now. After the body was made, I crocheted the arms and moved on to sewing. I attached the head onto the body, and then I did the same for the arms. Now it's time to make the tail. A lot of you agreed with me to make it a bit longer, so I added another 2 rounds and sewed it to the body. The last part was to add the nose. I decided to go with a plastic safety nose, and I didn't want to deal with hot glue, so I used fabric glue to attach it instead. And here it is. I am finally happy with it, and I know some of you might be disappointed I didn't go with the first iteration, including Mama Case, but I just didn't like it, like, at all, and I'm so much happier with this version, so this is the final design. Thank you all for giving me your feedback and helping out with this pattern. I seriously could not have done it without you guys. And for those wondering, yes, I will be making a jumbo version as well. It's just gonna take a few days because I'm a little busy, but as always, let me know what you guys think. And with that all said, thank you so much for watching. Okay, bye.